Kia ora! Kia ora. I am sitting in the studio with my dog Rigby. He may interrupt us as we do this live. And my partner in crime, Janine, is next to me as well, and we're having a lovely little time trying to revive our pottery. It's been the topic of conversation for months now, getting the pottery going again, and I'm proud to say we've committed, and we're going to increase our time in this whare, tomato whare uku. Nō reira, tēnei au e mihi ana ki a koutou. I don't think we've got anyone on here, Janine. Is anyone listening? Please, slow connection. What does that mean? Will that work? There's no one listening.
It's because we haven't posted for like 2 years.
Well, fuck it. We'll just do something. Whether the world's listening or not. Let's give it a go. So, we are going to be making pots again. We are going to revive our pottery lessons, throwing on the wheel. So we currently have 5 wheels with a couple more on the way. And the lessons that we've done in the past, we are going to carry on. And I've been given a commission from the local karate dojo who wants some training pots. And kia ora. Just comment if you can hear me okay, please. So anyway, I've been given this commission to make some training pots for people doing martial arts, karate training, and it's grip training. So I'm making these pots here. These ones here. And the idea, this one's still a bit soft, is you grip the pot, you fill the pot with sand, and then the martial artist grips the top of this pot and carries them around, and it's supposed to increase strength through from your shoulders right through to your grip. And apparently it's supposed to help you kind of grip and kind of grip skin, which is, I don't even like thinking about that, but hey, it's made me a commission. So this is the pot I'm about to make. And there's always a little bit... Oh, it's you, Janine.
Feelings of love. Me, babe.
So there's always a little bit of a risk doing a live, making a pot on the wheel, because who knows, it might not work and I might embarrass myself. So we don't know how this social media stuff works anymore, so we're just testing this out, and if no one sees it, well, hey up. But I thought I can make a pot and talk about what we do and why we do it, and just why we love doing what we're doing, and perhaps a little bit about what we're currently doing right now. But first of all, I've got to center this thing. So I'm throwing 3.5 kilos, which is quite a lot for me, especially because I haven't made anything for ages. I've been potting for 20 years, but I haven't been on the wheel that whole time, so I'm by no means a master of the wheel. I'm pretty good, but I've worked with potters who are amazing, and so hopefully this goes okay. So with a a large amount of clay like this, you're using, well, you should be using the centrifugal force of the wheel head turning to do all the work, and trying to preserve your joints, and you're not forcing it. You're using the motion of the wheel turning to move the clay. So this is called centering, and it takes a long time to learn, but it's the basis of all throwing on the wheel, and you have to get this bit exactly right before you can move on to the next stage. Can you see it very well?
Yeah, it's all good.
So this is my first time back on the wheel for probably a year. I've been doing little bits, demonstrations and things like that, and of course the pottery lessons, but I used to throw all day, every day, 7 days a week, you know, and I used to work for big potteries and small studios all over the world. My first experience of pottery was here in Wairarapo at Paul Mouse's, and seeing him throw on the wheel, I just felt completely in love with the process and the magic that of centrifugal force, and that sent me on a long journey around the world. God, there's still nobody on here. I'm talking to myself.
Keep going.
So
I'm enjoying it.
So that journey took me around the world. I went to Wanganui or Whanganui first, and I met a bloke called Ross Mitchell-Anyon, who sadly passed last year. But his influence opened up a world to me, and not just his potting, but the way he lived his life, and his connection with the river and the whenua, because he dug his own clay. All of those things really just resonated to me, and the way I'd been brought up. This Pākehā fellow was sort of like living the dream in my eyes, and then from there he sort of also introduced me to kilns, which is the other part of making pots. You need to fire them. I've got a conventional gas kiln, which we'll be throwing these in later on, but he introduced me to a wood kiln, and they are next level. Anyway, that wood firing process and the kiln that he used was a boundary box kiln, but it was based on a sort of a Chinese hybrid design from Anagama, and I wanted to touch on that, considering we're making karate pots. The connection and the joy of making a traditional pot for a dojo appeals to me because of the deep connection to the Asian kind of influence, and that Asian, China, Japan, Indonesia, all of those places have had a heavy influence on me, and so to actually make a pot that speaks to that tradition is a beautiful thing. So here we go. I'm on to my first pull. I've opened it up at the bottom, and I've compressed the bottom, And now I get to pull. And up you come. Right. So the design brief of these Nigiri gummy pots is they want them about this tall, so about 300, 400 high, and they want it kind of that traditional sort of jar shape with the narrow neck at the top, about the width of your palm, so you can grip and wrap your fingers around the neck of the pot. So when you're throwing, you are essentially using the force of the clay wanting to go out, centrifugal force, because the turning wants the clay to go out, and you're using that against the force that is of gravity that wants to keep it down. So getting height in your clay is quite a difficult thing, and your pot is quite a difficult thing. So you kind of have to work quite quickly, and I'm working slowly because I'm talking to you, but what I mean is you want to try and get your height within 3 pulls. So I've got to take it from this to this within 2 more pulls. So let's see how we go.
You can always turn the music up, babe, if you just want to throw and have a break from talking.
So here we go. Right. Got a little bit more height there, not too much. So when you're throwing something tall like this, well, any shape really, you really have to maintain quite a bit of thickness in the rim up here. That kind of rim, the lip of the pot up here, is suspended with all this clay down here. So if this is strong, you are giving strength to the rest of the form all the way to the base, and the base being the foundation the pot sits on. So everything here is actually quite thin. It's probably about that thin. So I've done 2 pulls. I've got a bit of slurry in the bottom. The next pull I'm going to start thinking about, okay, I'm starting to get a bit more height in it, but I need more out of the bottom of the pot, and I need to get that up here. But I'm also thinking, okay, I'm going to start creating a belly and a shoulder, and then up to this lip up here. Now I'm naming all the parts of the pot, and that's the other beautiful thing that I fell in love with, is the kind of the relationship of a pot to us, to our, and the way we use them. So all of the parts of the pot, distinctive parts of the pot, are named after parts of the body. So you have the foot at the bottom, then you come up to the bum of the pot, and then the belly, the shoulder, the neck, and then the lip at the top. Right, let's see how we go. Just collar in a bit. Okay, let's go. So this clay is beautiful, it feels really nice, it's got some strength to it. I'll be getting it again. It's a stoneware and it's called Speckle Buff from Max Mud up in the Waikato, and it's a beautiful clay. It's one of the very last suppliers that is actually still digging New Zealand clays. A lot of the other producers are getting their materials from overseas, and I don't know quite how that happened. When I started out, potters were still digging their own, and when I was a student we would sort of mix clay that we would win ourselves from Papatūānuku, and then we'll mix it with commercial stuff from Nelson Potter's clay. But somewhere along the line, New Zealand clays became uneconomical, or whether or not the quarries closed down. But all of a sudden, it sort of started happening when I came back from overseas about 10 years ago. The materials weren't from New Zealand anymore, and to me that just seems absolutely nuts. And in terms of climate change and caring for Papatūānuku, taking clay from another country, from another whakapapa, from another person or another community's land, and bringing it all the way over to New Zealand for us to indulge in making pots just seems almost criminal. So Max Mud clay, these fellas, they're great. They dig their own clay locally. Local materials go into this. It's a speckle buff clay, so it's got iron in it, and it's got little speckles of iron sand. So it's got a nice character once it's fired. And we can send the bags back to them and they recycle the soft plastic. So win-win, awesome company, ngā mihi ki a rātou. Right, so when you're learning to throw, people generally put a shit ton of water on their pot, but that actually weakens the clay, and sort of the clay starts shrinking or dropping back down to Papatūānuku through that gravity. So you want to try and minimize the amount of water on there, but you also want it slippery. So I'm just going to dribble just a little bit on the inside because it's quite dry on the inside. Get some down the bottom. Okay, see how we go. So now I'm going to start thinking about the belly, and as I start pushing the clay out, the pot is going to start shrinking. But I've got, the reason why it's holding its shape is I've got this reasonably thick lip at the top, suspended sitting at like a ring of compressed clay at the top, and that gives the rest of the form strength, allowing me to kind of like push it out and make it a bit thinner. But everything's got to be progressive. And as I say, I am not an expert. I've been doing it for a long time, but been distracted by eels and sculpture and kaitiakitanga. I work for Kahununu, so I don't spend a lot of time on the wheel like some of my pottery brothers and sisters who are on this day in and day out. So they would have finished 2 or 3 pots in the time I've put this one together. So just remember that like this process can be sped up, and you can make, if I was a master thrower, this is all I would be doing. I wouldn't be doing any of the other stuff. I would just be throwing. Someone would be making my clay for me. Someone would be firing the kiln for me, and I'd be making sort of one of these every 10 minutes or 5 minutes. But I'm enjoying this. And I get great satisfaction of the sort of like finished product, and seeing what I've made and how it connects to the whakapapa or every other pot that's been made. It's reflecting that, like I'm doing nothing new here. This craft it's one of the oldest crafts, sort of 5,000 years old, this throwing method on the wheel, and it sort of belongs to every culture on this planet, and when I make something using this, it just gives me a great deal of satisfaction. So I'm getting towards the end of this pot. I just need to collar it in. So I've got a special tool. Where is my here it is. So I've got a calipers here. So that's measured at 90 mils, and I'm measuring 90 mils for the karate experts to sort of wrap their fingers around. So 90 mils is around the width of my palm. So I need to go in a fair bit, but I'm also thinking as this pot dries, it's shrinking. When I put it into the kiln, that ceramic or quartz conversion they call it, also causes the particles to shrink and get closer together, and so the pot will shrink by up to 15%, 15 to 20% some clays, and so I don't want the neck to be 90 mils. I think it wants to be around 100, so I'll go in a little bit more though. And that little wobble is kei pai. It's because it's quite thin up here. But you can just fix it with a steady hand. And I'm just running my finger up the inside against my thumb. And thinking about the function of the pot. I'm imagining a karate dojo is quite a physical place. People fatigued and throwing things around. Physical space means things might get broken, so I'm just thinking I'll keep that lip nice and thick and robust, and I'll compress that. I also am thinking about the base where the pot's connected to papatoinuku. It needs to be fairly wide because it's a tall pot and it's carrying sand, so all of those things you need to incorporate into the actual skill of throwing. That kind of, how does something function? Give it a nice pregnant belly. What I mean by pregnant is it's containing something, so therefore like it's almost like you're expressing the volume through the form of that curve. And I don't know if you've seen a pregnant belly, but there's nothing more beautiful than that kind of the pregnancy of a woman is, and if you can reflect that into the shape of your pot, wow. Okay, I think I'm just about finished there, and if I get my special tool here. Its form a little bit there. Now, clay has a real memory, so that's another good reason to work quite quickly and intentionally, deliberately cutting down, sort of messing around with it too much, because otherwise when it dries the clay will remember and bite you later on with a kind of like an oval shape or a crack even. So you really have to not mess around too much. How's that? I always forget to stand back and just have a look. Please leave a comment if you've enjoyed this. If I've waffled on too much about pregnancy, I can change that. If you want to know anything more about the process of throwing, please throw in some comments and we'll do our best to answer them. If you really want to learn more and you're in the Wairarapa Wellington region, we are going to be doing a lesson. When is it? Next month. If we can get enough people, we need four people, and we'll put the details into the comments. And if you just want to follow us, please like and share, or you can visit our website, Sam Ludden. What is it? Sam Ludden Ceramics.
What's that?
Our website, samluddenceramics.com.
Yep. And then / join the whānau to join the newsletter list.
/ join the whānau.com.
No.
What is it?
samludden.com / join the whānau.
Thank you.
And that's for the updates and emails and stuff.
I hope you got that. We'll put that into the comments as well. And you can get all the newsletters and stuff that we're going to be doing in the future and follow our story. And those of you that are already members, sorry we haven't been very good over the last year or so. We've been distracted by real jobs, as they say. Well, I'm full-time at Kahununu as Kaitiaki Taiao position in the environmental team, which has been an absolute pleasure, but it's really taken me away from this stuff and keeping in touch with you fellas. So.
That's beautiful.
Okay. I don't think anyone's listened or watched this, Jay.
Bye, man.
Well.
That's what happens after a year of not being on social media.
We'll keep doing them, eh?
Yeah, that's the way.
I can pretend people are listening to me.
Exactly. You're good at that.
No one else in this family listens to me, so I might as well talk to myself.
I just found a blog post I wrote 2 years ago and I haven't posted it.
I don't know, mate. I think that's pretty good shape, eh? Ooh, she's thin on the bottom. Hey, hey! Okay, to bite. Man. I can do better than that. Shall I keep going or turn this live off?
Probably turn it off, I reckon. Wrap it up.
Wrap it up. Yeah. Well, I'm going to throw some more and we'll show you the results later on. I'll share it to my own page and keep looking at Sam Lovin Ceramics. We promised to put up some more posts soon and content soon. Nō reira, e te iwi, ki roto te ao, Facebook. This is us signing off. See you soon.